I'm Brandon Wong, and this is Nightline. The top stories. Foreign analysis on sex video implicating minister completed. And MACC to announce names facing prosecution after failing to return 1MDB money. Good morning. Police on Monday confirmed that the foreign forensic analysis into the sex video implicating Economic Affairs Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin Ali has been completed. Bukit Aman CID Director Datuk Huzir Muhammad said the police and the Attorney General's Chambers AGC will be making a joint statement on the matter soon.
Pihak AG pun akan membuat kenyataan media bersama-sama PDRM dalam masa terdekat. Right? Apa yang dinyatakan oleh beberapa media yang menyatakan bahawa kita akan buat announcement. Tidak begitu. Apa yang saya nyatakan dulu, kita akan mendapat laporan analisa daripada pakar luar negara before end of the year.
The CID chief was speaking to the media at Bukit Aman, Kuala Lumpur. He said investigators from the Special Investigation Unit met AGC officers on Monday to discuss the sex video along with two other high-profile cases. Datuk Huzir said the two other cases were those involving PKR President Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim's alleged sexual misconduct and the statutory declaration by former policeman Azila Hadri over the murder of Mongolian Altantuya Sharibu. Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad on Monday urged his ministers and civil servants to set aside any lingering differences and work together to realise the Shared Prosperity Vision 2030, SPV 2030, for the country. The Prime Minister said the new blueprint for the nation's progress depends on the cooperation of all. He said this in his first speech of the year to the staff of the Prime Minister's department in Putrajaya.
Rancangan-rancangan sudah diadakan, pendekatan juga sudah dicipta, dan saya cuma berharap semua pihak akan tumpukan kepada negara, bukan kepada diri sendiri, tetapi kepada negara. Ya, memang kita bekerja untuk mendapat pendapatan tertentu, tetapi itu adalah hanya sebahagian saja daripada tanggungjawab kita. Yang lebih utama ialah kejayaan kerja kita, bukan saja memenuhi masa, tetapi memenuhi masa dengan kerja-kerja yang akan menyumbang kepada pembangunan negara.
Tun Dr. Mahathir said the SPV 2030 does not only aim to make Malaysia a high-income nation by the year 2030, but to ensure an equal distribution of wealth across all states and among all races. He also reminded civil servants not to engage in corrupt practices and uphold good values. The Transport Ministry will conduct periodic spot checks on motorcycle ride-hailing services until it has enough data to form a regulatory framework to govern the industry. Transport Minister Anthony Loke Siew Fook said it was up to the Land Public Transport Agency to ensure that the companies providing these services adhere to the highest safety regulations.
We let the market to decide. I think as if there are demands, then there will be supply. I mean, if there are more supply, then we see whether there will be people picking up. Eventually it's the market who decide the survival of those companies. So we are not limiting to any numbers of service provider. We allow this proof of concept for this pilot project to run for 6 months. Any players can come in. So it's up to them to provide their services to the market and up to the market to react to them.
The Transport Minister was speaking to the media after taking a day-go ride from the Kuala Lumpur Police Contingent Headquarters to the Pasar Seni LRT station on Monday. The start of the 6-month trial period for motorcycle ride-hailing services in Kuala Lumpur began on January the 3rd. Only one company, Dago Ride, has started providing a full motorcycle ride-hailing service. It has about 700 riders with another 4,000 applicants pending. Commenting on the possible resumption of the Rayani Air carrier operations this year, Locke said there had been no such requests from the company. He said any airline seeking to become operational will need the approval of the Malaysian Aviation Commission, MAVCOM, and the Malaysian Civil Aviation Authority, or CAM.
Mereka perlu mendapat kelulusan daripada regulator lah. Pada ketika ini regulator ialah CAM dengan MAVCOM. Selagi mereka tak dapat kelulusan daripada kedua-dua regulator ini, tidak ada syarikat penerbangan yang boleh beroperasi. Sama ada status mereka saya tak tahu.
He was commenting on Rayani Air's former CEO, Ravi Alagendran's statement that the airline will resume its operations this year. Alagendran said the airline will introduce a new image but maintain its Sharia compliance practice. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, will soon announce the names of individuals and entities facing prosecution after failing to return money believed to have been received from One Malaysia Development Berhad, 1MDB. Its Chief Commissioner, Latifah Koya, said they will be charged under the Anti-Money Laundering and Anti-Terrorism Financing Act 2001.
Kita akan umumkan apabila kita akan ambil tindakan susulan kepada kes-kes yang kita keluarkan compound hari ini. Kita akan we will inform. Berapa ramai? Saya akan bagi tahu.
Latifah was speaking at a media conference for the launch of the musical Semarak Pertiwiku at Istana Budaya on Monday. The MACC had previously issued compound notices in a bid to recover 1MDB-related money in October last year. Recipients of the 80 notices issued include several prominent politicians. Latifah, however, did not reveal how many of them would be charged. The Health Ministry's Disease Control Division is closely monitoring every case in the country showing signs of the mysterious pneumonia virus, followed an outbreak in Wuhan City in the Hubei province of China. Its Director General, Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah, in a statement said health authorities are working with the World Health Organization, WHO, and so far it has not issued any trade or travel advisory on China. According to the statement, the ministry said it is closely monitoring those entering the country through the existing body temperature screening tests. It has also taken measures to monitor any influenza-like illnesses and severe acute respiratory infection or SARS, as well as strengthened screenings at government clinics and hospitals nationwide. Those found to have fever symptoms will be required to be examined further at a health quarantine center. Those suspected to have the viral infection will be referred to the nearest health facility based on the screening test procedure. So far, there have been no cases in the country linked to the Wuhan pneumonia outbreak. Meanwhile, Hong Kong public hospitals have admitted 7 more people with flu-like symptoms who had recently traveled to the central Chinese city of Wuhan, bringing the total number of reported cases in the city to 15 since the end of last month. The patients aged between 2 and 55 all visited Wuhan in the past 14 days and displayed fever, respiratory infection, or pneumonia symptoms. All are being kept in isolation. The government on Saturday had classified its response level to the outbreak as serious, the second highest scale for action in its 3-tier system, with the top being emergency. The current classification estimates the intermediate health impact on the local population to be moderate. Severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, and Middle East respiratory syndrome have been excluded as the causes of the sickness found in Wuhan.
It was first identified in Saudi Arabia in 2012.
The first phase of the Bantuan Sara Hidup BSH 2020 will be dispersed on January the 20th to 3.8 million registered recipients under the households category. In a statement on Monday, Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said the payment of 300 ringgit per household, involving a total allocation of 1 billion ringgit, will be credited directly to the recipients' bank accounts, as stated in the BSH 2019 database. He said for recipients residing in rural areas and do not have a bank account, a cash payment will be made to them beginning February the 1st. The distribution involves recipients with household incomes of below 2,000 ringgit, between 2,001 and 3,000 ringgit, and between 3,001 and 4,000 ringgit. In addition to the households category, BSH 2020 is also available for singles aged 40 and above, as announced in Budget 2020. The statement also said the period for fresh applications and information update will be from February the 1st to March the 15th. It said once the BSH database is updated, the remaining BSH 2020 distributions under the households category will be dispersed in the second and third phases, while the single and disabled category will receive a one-off payment under the second phase. The Works Ministry on Monday rubbished Datuk Seri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak's claim that the Pan-Borneo Highway project in Sabah has been abandoned. The ministry shot down the claim made by the former Prime Minister in a social media post, saying that the project is still ongoing, even though the government had cancelled the project delivery partner PDP agreement on September the 21st last year. The ministry, in a statement, said the Pan-Borneo project is in the construction phase for the full 12 packages, with 22% physical progress recorded as of December 31st, 2019. It stressed that the implementation of the project has been changed to the Public Works Department PWD contract using the conventional method under the supervision of the Sabah PWD. The method has helped the government save about 1.2 billion ringgit as compared to the original PDP approach. The savings made following the shift to PWD, it added, had made it possible for the government to approve 3 additional packages on top of the 12 existing packages, which comprise a route from Beluran Junction to Telupid worth about 1 billion ringgit that will be put up for tender in March this year. The ministry also said that the additional 3 new packages are expected to be completed by the end of 2023. The ministry said that the government has approved a project to build a trans-Borneo route linking Sabah, Sarawak and Kalimantan, of which the first phase linking Kalabakan, Sabah and Simangaris, Indonesia will be implemented this year at a cost of about 600 million ringgit. The ministry admitted that the implementation of the 12 contracts is behind schedule as compared to the original completion date of June 2022 due to the land acquisition issues, obstacles at construction sites, and transition issues resulting from the shift from PDP to the conventional contract. Like the Pan-Borneo Highway in Sarawak, it said the cost of implementing the Pan-Borneo Highway in Sabah, as well as other road projects in the 2 states, is fully borne by the federal government, citing the Trans-Borneo Highway and the Sarawak-Sabah Link Road, for which users would not have to pay tolls. On this note, it said the construction of non-toll main roads in the 2 states has proven the government's commitment and resolve to ensure that the people of Sabah and Sarawak could enjoy better socio-economic development. The Kuala Lumpur High Court on Monday dismissed an application by the prosecution to impeach Datuk Seri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak for allegedly giving conflicting statements to the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) and testimonies during the course of his corruption trial. Judge Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali ruled that there were no material contradictions given by Datuk Seri Najib after inspecting the witness statements in question, rejecting the need for impeachment proceedings. The court then ordered the prosecution to continue its cross-examination of Datuk Seri Najib, who is currently on trial for siphoning 42 million ringgit from the former 1MDB subsidiary and is testifying in his own defence. Earlier in the day, ad hoc prosecutor Datuk V. C. Thambaran applied to challenge the credibility of Datuk Sri Najib's testimonies provided to the MACC and the latter's own testimonies given to court on the witness stand in regard to whether the former Prime Minister had seen certain documents and signed them. Datuk Sri Najib has been called to enter his defence to answer 7 charges related to SRC International. 3 are for criminal breach of trust over a total of 42 million ringgit of SRC International funds while entrusted with its control as Prime Minister and Finance Minister then. 3 more are for laundering the 42 million ringgit, and the last is for abusing the same positions for self-gratification of the same sum. Meanwhile, breaking his silence, fugitive businessman Lau Tek Jo, or better known as Jo Lo, said he is not returning to face justice because he was not the mastermind behind the scandal, but only acted as an intermediary for deals involving One Malaysia Development Berhad, 1MDB. In an interview with Singapore Straits Times, Lau, however, said he would return to Malaysia to face charges related to 1MDB scandal if there is a conducive political climate for him to feel safe and to vigorously defend himself. In the interview conducted over email, Lau said there is nothing unusual to act as intermediaries. Lau said his connections with the described as professional had helped Malaysia build strong ties with key allies, particularly Saudi Arabia, boosting Hajj pilgrimage quotas for Malaysian Muslims and investments in financial, real estate and other sectors. Lau declined to divulge his current location but confirmed he was offered asylum in August last year but did not name the country offering the asylum. Coming up, lorry driver found dead in Kuala Terengganu hotel room. Welcome back. In Terengganu, a lorry driver was found dead in a room of a budget hotel at Jalan Tok Lam, Kuala Terengganu Monday morning. Hotel workers suspected something amiss when the 50-year-old man did not leave his room and decided to check and were shocked to find the man's body covered with a blanket on the bed. Fire and Rescue Department officials had to be summoned to help remove the man's body weighing about 100 kilograms. The body was later handed over to police for further action. Terengganu Criminal Investigation Department Chief Assistant Commissioner Ramzi Muhammad Gunus confirmed the incident. The cause of death has yet to be ascertained. After the break, Iraqi parliament passes resolution to end foreign troop presence following US airstrike. We begin our foreign segment in Iraq, where Parliament has called on the government on Sunday to work to end all foreign troop presence as backlash grew after the killing of a top Iranian military commander and an Iraqi militia leader in a U.S. strike in Baghdad. The resolution passed by a special session of Parliament said the government should cancel its request for assistance from a U.S.-led coalition. Parliament resolutions, unlike law, are non-binding on the government. However, this one is likely to be heeded. Prime Minister Abdul Mahdi had earlier called on Parliament to end foreign troop presence as soon as possible. The special session was called after a U.S. drone strike on Friday on a convoy at Baghdad airport that killed Iranian military commander Qasim Soleimani and Iraqi militia leader Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis. Since the killings, rival political leaders have called for U.S. troops to be expelled from Iraq in an unusual show of unity among factions that have squabbled for months. An airstrike hit a military academy in Libya. The the capital, Tripoli, killing at least 30 cadets and injuring 33 others. According to officials, the missiles fell right in the middle of 70 cadets in two groups. The UN-backed government in Tripoli said in a statement that the airstrike was conducted by a foreign air force supporting the war criminal Khalifa Haftar. The East-based army led by Haftar, however, denied its link to the airstrike and accused the UN-backed government of shelling the academy. The army of Haftar has been leading a military campaign in and around Tripoli since early April 2019, trying to take over the city and topple the UN-backed government. Thousands have been killed and injured in the fighting, and more than 120,000 people have fled their homes. Torino stuns Roma. Action from the Italian Serie A when we return. I'm Brandon Wong. Thank you for watching and stay safe.